movie kicks off in a buzzing city, alive with anticipation for a massive martial arts ceremony. Fighters from all over the country have gathered, itching to show off their skills. Among them is Sei Kyung, a Chinese martial arts master who wows the crowd with his flashy moves, effortlessly blending Tai Kun, Wushu, and Western boxing. The energy in the arena is absolutely electric, but it's all part of a carefully planned show by a kung fu organization trying to reel in new students. Suddenly, their perfectly orchestrated performance hits a snag. One of their main performers is a no-show. Xiao Yan, the young woman in charge of the group, is clearly struggling to keep the illusion from falling apart. Meanwhile, 3 down on their luck lion dancers, who happen to be friends, are watching from the sidelines. An idea sparks in their minds, a quick way to make some cash. They rush backstage and offer their services to Xiao Yan, promising they can handle the missing act for a price. Desperate, she agrees. One of the friends, Mong, is quickly prepped and pushed onto the stage. The kung fu master, completely unaware that Mong isn't part of the show, launches into a fierce display. Mong, trying to calm things down, attempts a traditional Chinese kung fu intro, but the situation spirals into chaos as he gets caught in the master's powerful grip. With a unique technique called the match cup, the master impressively ends the performance, earning thunderous applause and praise. Master Kyung instantly becomes a fan favorite, and the organization wastes no time marketing their talented new recruit. But their triumph is short-lived. A famous boxer, Chen Yan, suddenly calls out from the crowd, scoffing at the performance as fake and challenging Master Kyung to a real fight. Swallowing his pride, Master Kyung accepts. However, once the fight begins, Master Kyung's weaknesses become glaringly obvious. He quickly goes downhill. After a series of brutal hits, his vision blurs, and Chen Yan knocks him out with his signature move. The crowd gasps, Master Kyung is humiliated, and the organization that hired them is deeply ashamed. To make matters worse, Mong and his 2 friends don't even get paid. When they approach Xiao Yan, she explains that the organization can't pay them right then and promises to settle up later, giving them an address and phone number. Mong and his friends are disheartened. They came to the city hoping to make a living, but now they're at rock bottom. That night, they return to their rented room, cook instant noodles, and try to rest, still clinging to a sliver of hope that things will improve. Mong, particularly driven, works tirelessly at a construction site. His father is sick and uninsured, making him desperate to earn enough for treatment. But when he returns to the dormitory, he finds his 2 friends have been caught sneaking in without paying rent. The owner kicks them out, telling them to find somewhere else to stay. Mong begs to be allowed to stay, but the overcrowded building offers no mercy. To make matters worse, the construction manager fires them for stealing tools. Now they're jobless, homeless, and their transportation is gone too. Despite these crushing setbacks, Mong refuses to give up. Determined to find a way to survive, he wanders aimlessly until he stumbles upon a small martial arts school, Xiao Yan's. He walks in, intending to collect his payment, but instead witnesses Xiao Yan being harassed by students from a rival school, Bazin. They're trying to force her to sell her school's training space. When Xiao Yan refuses, their harassment intensifies. Mong can't stand by. He tries to call the police but is caught. The bullies drag him into the fight, throwing him down and relentlessly punching and kicking him. When his patience runs out, Mong snaps. He unleashes a lion claw technique he'd learned, defending himself with surprising ferocity. One by one, the bullies are injured and flee. Once the chaos subsides, Mong's immediate concern is his phone, which his parents use to contact him. When he finds it safe, he breaks down in relief. Xiao Yan approaches him, apologizing for the damage that had been done. Later, she pays him the money he was owed. Then, she shows him a boxing tournament poster and asks if he'd consider entering the competition. Mong declines, saying he doesn't know how to fight. Xiao Yan offers him food, tempting him with the possibility of earning at least 100 yuan if he competes. Mong is hesitant and leaves, but after some thought, he returns, asking about the potential earnings. He admits he's only doing it to get medicine for his sick father. Xiao Yan reassures him, promising to provide training. She introduces him to the same kung fu teacher who had fought on stage earlier. The teacher jokingly remarks, "So you're not just acting as a fake fighter, now you want to be a real one, huh?" but Xiao Yan counters that Mong has talent and challenges him to a fight. The master playfully spars with Mong, who tries to attack, but the teacher's experience shines through. He quickly puts Mong in his place, telling him that martial arts is about more than flashy moves. It's about patience, timing, and heart. Meanwhile, the bullies reappear with their boss, Qian Yan, the boxer who had previously humiliated Master Kyung. Qian Yan is attempting to buy the school for a pittance. Seeing Mong training, they try to stir up more trouble. But the teacher handles the situation with quiet strength, announcing that Mong will compete against Qian Yan in the tournament. At that moment, a court letter arrives. The school is in danger, they owe money, and if it isn't paid soon, it will be seized and sold at auction. Qian Yan then gloats, "I already offered to buy the place. If you go to court, the school could be auctioned off for even less." But Xiao Yan refuses to give in. She decides to temporarily close the school and focus on finishing the training course. The teacher agrees to cover their food and lodging. Xiao Yan makes a deal. If they win the competition, they'll split the prize money. She'll take 80% for the school, the teacher 10%, and Mong and his friends will keep the rest. The teacher even opens his home to them, and they move in. Since Teacher Kyung's house isn't fully built and neither he nor Xiao Yan has much money for food, they all end up living together in an empty yard nearby. It isn't ideal, but they make do with what they have. What they don't know is that the martial arts school actually belongs to Xiao Yan's father. She had given up a chance to go abroad just to stay and build up the school, hoping to one day carry on her father's legacy. Her father is not only close friends with Teacher Kyung but also Kyung's uncle. That's why Kyung has taken Xiao Yan under his care like family. The next day, Teacher Kyung proposes another way to earn money, selling noodles. He shares a little secret. He used to run a noodle shop on the side. It isn't a bad idea, but there's one problem. Kyung's eyesight is pretty weak, causing him to make many mistakes when preparing food, so no one will buy noodles from him. But with help, perhaps they can make it work. The next morning, Kyung also begins to train Mong seriously. First, he works on Mong's endurance, making him lift heavy loads and do physical labor to build strength. Then come more refined lessons, how to stay focused during an attack, how to strike fast and accurately, and how to maintain balance in a fight. Meanwhile, things aren't going well at the shop where they used to work. The business is sinking, and Mong has to figure out another way to survive. One day, he tries his hand at noodle making using his own ingredients. Surprisingly, customers love it, especially the way he uses only his right hand. His noodle skills, mixed with his martial arts precision, become a hit. The business picks up. Customers keep coming back, and even the noodles become popular on their own. Seeing this, Teacher Kyung hands over the noodle shop responsibilities to Mong and his friends. Over time, the group begins to feel like a real family. They work together, train together, and support one another. One night, while looking at old childhood photos, Xiao Yan finds herself growing fond of Mong. His dedication and humble spirit touch her heart. Inspired by that, Mong trains even harder, and soon, his body begins to transform. He's stronger, faster, and more focused than ever before. While Mong is training with his friends one day, Teacher Kyung stands nearby, watching. Their energy reminds him of his younger days, and he knows this next generation still has a fighting chance. Then, word starts to spread about a big boxing event being held by a man named Kyun Chu Yen. He runs a boxing gym that produces young champions. During an interview, Kyun Chu Yen explains that if a fighter impresses him, they can join his boxing club permanently and for free. Mong, curious, asks Xiao Yan who that man is. She tells him that Kyun Chu Yen is actually the owner of the very boxing gym that had challenged her school in the past. The person trying to take over their school is a man named Jin Mu Yen, someone who has long been eyeing their space. The night before the big competition, Mong can't sleep. Anxious and restless, he steps outside. To his surprise, Xiao Yan joins him. They walk together under the night sky, talking about dreams and fears. She gives him a small snack and tells him that anything is possible if you don't give up. Her words calm him. When competition day finally arrives, the format is simple but tough. The fighters are divided into groups. Half will be eliminated early, while the others will advance based on a point system. As the matches begin, things get off to a rocky start. The team hasn't prepared any music for their intro, so they have to use a traditional song that is typically sung by wrestlers. When their group enters with that tune, the crowd laughs at them. Some even make fun of traditional martial arts, calling them outdated. The first to fight is a newcomer from Brazil named Sipo. Confident and cocky, he points at Mong and declares he'll knock him out in one round. The bell rings and the match begins. Sipo lands a solid hit on Mong. While he's celebrating too early, thinking he has won, Mong gets back up, angry and ready to fight. Sipo tries again, this time going all in, but his punches start to lose power. 3 minutes pass, and he can't finish the match. When the second round begins, Sipo again hits Mong harder. Every time, Mong comes back to his feet. This repeated resilience shocks the crowd and commentators, even Sipo himself. After a lot of effort, Sipo grows tired, and his energy fades. Now, Mong combines traditional village martial arts with lion dance techniques. His strategy is clever. He blocks his opponent's energy using his legs and shuts down every attack thrown at him. His teacher watches and tells him, use your strength where your opponent is weak. Inspired, Mong begins focusing on legwork, mirroring the movements of the strongman he's fighting. He notices Sipo's leg is injured and uses that to his advantage, blocking kicks and landing hits. Eventually, Sipo's injured leg gives out. He can't stand properly anymore. Mong then uses a move involving stones, tripping the opponent and throwing him off balance. In the end, the opponent can't continue, and Mong claims victory. The crowd cheers, and the score is tallied. After the match, Chu Yen, the host, comes forward to present the awards. Just as everyone settles down to watch Chen Yan's match, he stuns the entire crowd by defeating his opponent in just a few quick punches. Teacher Kyung explains that Chen Ren's strength comes from powerful strikes. No wasted motion, just raw force. He shares more about his past, revealing that he and Xiao Yan's father had once opened a martial arts school together. Her father was a respected nighttime martial arts master who taught many young students. But things had changed. One day, Chen Yan comes forward, mocking traditional martial arts and calling them useless. He challenges masters from all schools to fight him, and defeats them one after another, including Xiao Yan's father. The youth start believing that boxing is the superior style. News outlets begin covering these fights, adding fuel to the fire. Teacher Kyung wants to prove them wrong. He challenges Chen Yan, but during the fight he is knocked out with a hard punch. The blow leaves him with nerve damage and partial blindness. That's when Teacher Kyung truly understands that the old ways need to evolve. He studies martial arts deeply, comparing Eastern and Western styles. He realizes that Lethwei, Burmese bare-knuckle boxing, is itself born from traditional techniques. The teacher has come up with a unique and advanced method, one that mixes their traditional martial arts with modern Lethwei techniques. It's something fresh, something bold, but not everyone approves. Many older masters turn their backs on this hybrid idea, calling it a betrayal of tradition. Still, the teacher stands firm. He believes learning from each other makes them stronger, not weaker. So he encourages his students to move forward with confidence. He hands over a book he has written himself. Inside are detailed instructions and philosophies about martial arts, along with new techniques tailored to their roots. He tells them, "We've come too far to look back now. We must honor the old but also step into the new." So Mong begins training harder than ever, sharpening his moves and increasing his stamina. One by one, Mong achieves victory in the tournament. As word spreads of Mong's victories, especially the lion's paw move, the media starts paying attention. Interviews pour in, and spectators grow curious. But there's someone even more famous on the horizon. A new champion named R.A. San is undefeated. That's when the teacher, Kyung, gathers everyone and says, "Don't waste time studying R.A. San's opponents. Study him directly. If you want to be the best, you have to beat the best." So the mission becomes clear. Defeat R.A. San and prove to the world that their path has value. Meanwhile, Xiao Yan is also searching for financial support. She approaches businesspeople who might invest as a sponsor of Mong. On another front, Kyung goes to seek wisdom from the teacher's old friends. But they one by one all want to relive the past and don't agree to learn Mong. The teacher, however, has a different plan. He says, Mong needs to learn how to defend surprise attacks. He must control the unseen. So Mong starts learning many new things. Then comes a surprise. Someone sends an offer to Xiao Yan to be their sponsor. Excited, Xiao Yan and Mong go to meet the unknown businessman. But they're shocked when they realize he is actually Chu Yan, who was responsible for her school's closure. Now Chu Yan asks her to sell the school to him for a large amount of money. And he also wants Mong to fight with his sponsor. He even insists he will register Mong as his student. Xiao Yan, absolutely furious, declines the offer flat out. She storms off with Mong, and they spend the rest of the day talking, desperately trying to find a way out of this mess. To cool off, Xiao Yan brings Mong to a park, and their anger slowly melts into laughter. Xiao Yan looks at the place where they used to live and asks, "Do you see anything useful here?" Mong looks around and shrugs. "I see nothing." But Xiao Yan smiles and says, "Look harder. Sometimes, you need a new eye to see the old things." And from that idea, they finally figure out how to design their secret technique, the half card. With newfound energy, they enter more matches and start winning. Mong's scores improve, and now, everyone has their eyes on this upcoming showdown. But trouble isn't over. Xiao Yan School is still closed due to financial problems, and newspapers cover the whole ordeal. The only hope left is to win the competition and use the prize money to buy back the school. The pressure is immense. The day of the big fight arrives. This time, Mong has to face Ra-san, the most famous and undefeated champion. Mong, nervous and tense, paces outside the arena. Kyung tells him, "Ra-san is older now, but he's strong. He won't last long, just hang in there." Mong enters the ring, using his signature, Lion's Love Ring move. Ra-san enters with an arrogant swagger. The fight starts, and Mong tries his best, but his familiar moves have been used too often. Ra-san already knows his style. Ra-san is incredibly strong and begins to beat him relentlessly. Ra-san's true strength isn't just his fists, it's his ability to wear his opponents down emotionally. He makes them feel powerless, dragging them into frustration. That's exactly what he does to Mong in the first round. To make matters worse, the referee is also corrupt. After the time is up, he takes an agonizingly long time to respond, making the whole situation blatantly unfair. The teacher protests, but he is given a yellow card. The second round begins. Ra-san starts beating Mong brutally. Mong barely defends himself against the crushing blows and kicks. Then, Ra-san breaks the rules. He uses ground attacks that aren't allowed and hurts Mong badly. Kyung, furious, complains, but this time the authority gives him a red card, and helpless, he has to leave the stage. There's no coach to support Mong now, just raw determination. Kyung watches it all from a TV in another room. He clenches his fists and makes a silent vow, "I'll train him to fight till the end." But the problem is that Ra-san knows every weak point in his opponent's body. He can predict every move. If Mong follows the usual tactics, he'll lose, plain and simple. So he has to change the game. Now, without a coach, Mong feels weak. Ra-san is hitting him with every fancy move he has. This round also finishes. Then Xiao Yan informs Mong that the referee has also been corrupted by Chu Yan. Mong understands everything and becomes enraged. The next round starts, and this time, Mong changes his fighting style, making it incredibly hard for Ra-san to read. But Ra-san adapts and continues to hit him brutally. Ra-san and everyone else are shocked to see how Mong stands up again and again. At last, Ra-san aims for a knockout, but Mong unleashes his secret weapon, the half card. He shifts his weight to the right and strikes with practiced precision. Ra-san sees it coming, but he doesn't expect what comes next. Mong pivots his supporting leg and launches a fierce kick across Ra-san's face. Time seems to freeze. Ra-san staggers. The entire arena holds its breath. That single kick knocks him out cold. The bell rings. Victory. Ra-san lay motionless. He couldn't get up. Mong had done it. He didn't just win the match. He reclaimed their pride, their future. Chu Yan, who had been watching silently, got up and left the arena with disappointment in his eyes. Others cheered and congratulated Mong. After all this, Mong called his parents and told them to come to the city, and also arranged for his dad to be admitted to a hospital. Meanwhile, Kyung reminded him that while he had won this round, the upcoming final match was against Jen Yen, an old master unlike any other. Still, they smiled and celebrated this moment of victory. But that joy didn't last long. Just when things seemed to be getting better, life struck hard again. The large training yard where Mong had been practicing was suddenly bought out. Their only training ground was destroyed. No warnings. No second chances. This wasn't bad luck. It was sabotage. The man behind it all? Chu Yen. He was ready to destroy Mong and his friends' lives just to protect his pride. Then came the worst blow. A humiliating video surfaced online, footage of Mong supposedly beating up his students. It was twisted, edited, and false. But the public didn't care. Outrage spread like wildfire. Mong's name started to fade from glory into scandal. Within weeks, the final match was cancelled. Qian Yen won without fighting Mong. Just like that, Mong's victories meant nothing. His reputation? Gone. One day, he was attacked so badly that his mother's voice broke through, pleading for him to come home. By then, news of his fall had already spread. His whole family felt the shame. Even the money he was supposed to win was taken back. Xiao Yan's martial arts school was shut down. Eventually, she was forced to leave the country. Heartbroken, she went away to her relatives in another country. Now, Mong also wanted to go back to the village. But just before leaving, something unexpected happened. A reporter who had supported Kyung called an emergency meeting. He had been investigating a photo taken during the match and noticed something off. Opponent Qian Yen had thick gloves, but something strange about them indicated cheating. The photo alone wasn't proof, but they began piecing things together. Kyung remembered how hard those punches were, far beyond normal. He realized Qian had hidden stones inside his gloves. It all made sense now. They couldn't challenge the match officially anymore. It was too late, but Kyung knew what he had to do. Eventually, Chu Yen opened a new branch of his boxing gym. They organized a big ceremony with all the champions. When it started, Mong stepped into the ring. Everyone was shocked. He challenged the champion, Qian Yen, not just to a fight, but as a test of Chinese Kung Fu versus Qian's boxing. At first, Qian couldn't accept the challenge, but after being taunted about boxing, Qian became furious and accepted. Kyung whispered to Mong, "You have one chance to prove him a cheater." Then the final fight began. Mong had come prepared. His goal wasn't just to win, it was to expose the truth. This time, he wasn't just fighting for himself. He was fighting for every poor soul crushed by the system. They began trading blows. Qian Yan's punches were brutal, but Mong had been through worse. With every hit, he tested the gloves, searching for that hidden hardness. Then he understood it. Qian was definitely using stone-filled gloves again. Mong turned to traditional martial wisdom. He used ancient patterns of movement, patterns passed down by masters like the Thousand Dragon style, blocking every attack methodically. Then the chess style, dodging with grace and countering with smooth, unpredictable movement. Finally, he used the closed fist technique, striking Qian's weak points with precision. Punch after punch, Mong targeted Qian's gloves. Normally, gloves can't be broken. But gloves filled with rocks? That's different. He kept hitting until cracks formed. And then, one final strike, crack. The glove shattered. Stones fell out. The crowd gasped. Silence turned into shock. Qian was exposed in front of the whole country. Mong and his friend picked up the stones and held them high. "This is cheating," he said. "This is what he used to win." The audience roared. Qian had been disgraced. Even his sponsors abandoned him. Referees checked his gloves and confirmed it. He had indeed used hidden stones. But Qian wasn't done yet. He took off his gloves and challenged Mong barehanded. With no stones, no tricks, Mong used the closed fist technique once more. Qian couldn't handle it. One punch, then another, then another. Mong hit him so hard that he dropped, unable to stand. The corrupted organizers were exposed. The Martial Arts Federation was forced to admit its mistakes. A wealthy businessman stepped in and offered to sponsor Mong. Finally, after so much hardship, his life began to turn around. Xiao Yan, who had gone abroad, heard the news. She reached out to Mong again. They talked for hours, rebuilding their bond. Eventually, they restarted the martial arts school together, this time named in honor of their old teacher. Mong's family was brought back to the city and given proper medical care. His teacher and old friends stood in the city park together, under the open sky, proud of the journey they had survived. And that's how the movie ends. Mong's story reminds us that true honor isn't bought. It's earned, punch by grueling punch. What was your favorite moment in Mong's incredible fight for justice? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more epic movie recaps.